Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am sharing another Glimmer Hot Foil project featuring a brand new Glimmer Hot Foil set that's called Glimmered Botanical. This set has hot foil plates and dies. There are these dies right here that make a large flower. You're going to glimmer, die cut, and there's a layering piece. This is the medium flower that has a glimmer plate, a die, and a layering piece. There's also this flower center that's one glimmer hot foil plate and two dies to cut it out two different ways. There's this small glimmer hot foil flower and a die to cut it out. There's a leaf that you glimmer one time, and there's two different dies to cut it out two different ways. So let's take a look at how this works. I have the large flower and some magenta foil that I will hot foil over some sweet berry cardstock. Actually, I believe it's Watermelon Fusion cardstock. And while that's heating up, I'm going to die cut this detailed layering piece. So this is going to layer over the top of my glimmer hot foiled piece. I'm going to set that aside and now run that large flower through the die machine using the plate directly from my Glimmer Hot Foil machine, and that will press that flower into my cardstock, and then when I peel off the foil, you'll see the foiled image. Then we're going to take the coordinating die and line that up. There's a spot that really dents in and matches up with a spot on the die that dents in. So that's my reference point. When I tape my die to my cardstock, I make sure to never cover the foil with my die because it can dull out that foil. And then we'll go ahead and die cut that, and you'll see how well this hot foil plate works with its coordinating die, leaving the cardstock showing and that foil in the center. Then you layer the layering piece over the top and you have an amazing flower. So let's do this again, but with the medium flower. This time I'm using Tangerine foil and some Tangerine Fusion cardstock. I'll put the plates on top, push my timer, and while that's heating up, I will die cut that detailed piece that is going to layer over the top of this flower. And you can see that it is very fine and intricate, and it's going to add some beautiful detail to this flower. So that's heated up. We'll run it through the die cut machine on the Glimmer Hot Foil plate, and then you can see how cool this looks with the tangerine foil on the tangerine paper. So pretty. And then once we are done with that, we can now die cut it. And again, you'll have the cardstock showing in some areas and the foil showing in others. And then with the layering piece, you really get a really detailed dimensional flower bloom. There you can see that layered up. So pretty. All right, so here's how to do the flower center. I'm going to hot foil this twice. I'm using Aura foil and some light yellow or banana cream cardstock. And once that is hot foiled, then there are two different coordinating dies. Both of them work with this one hot foil plate. So let's take a look at what that looks like foiled. And you can die cut it out with this die. You're going to move that around until you find that it lines up nice. And this is the center that you're going to use when you make the large flower. So the full center will go inside the large flower. Or you can take this half die and you're just going to die cut half of this foiled piece. So this is the center that you will use when you create the medium flower. So one hot foil plate and two dies. And when we are done with that, that's what it looks like. And that will go beautifully in the center of the medium flower. Now here's the small flower. This is more standard, where you're going to hot foil the plate. And once that's hot foiled, we have one die to cut it out. So this is a great accent piece that you can use in and around your flower arrangement and fill in those little gaps. It has the coordinating die. It's pretty easy to fit around it. I feel like it fits a couple different ways and it will work just fine. So that's what that looks like. Now the leaf is very similar to that flower center. There's one hot foil plate and you can die cut it out two different ways. One to make a large leaf and the other to make a small leaf. So there's two dies that go with this hot foil plate. So the first one I'm going to show you will cut out the entire piece and create a large leaf. So I have green foil on green paper, and then I have a different shade of green cardstock with the same green foil for a different look and using that smaller die. So now I'm going to just hot foil a bunch more flowers and leaves to create today's card. So I decided I would try doing multiple pieces at a time on my same plate, and it worked out great. So I have my large flower and my small flower that I'm now die cutting, and while I'm doing that, I'm actually hot foiling that centerpiece to my flower. And that gold foil on the yellow cardstock is gorgeous. I will have all the foils that I used linked for you in the description box below this video so you can check them out, because I did use a ton of foil and had so much fun with this. So now I decided I can hot foil all three. So I have this teal foil and some blue lagoon cardstock. I have aura foil and blue lagoon cardstock. I have that turquoise foil and some cool pool cardstock. So I just played with light and dark cardstocks to make my flowers, and they all turned out beautiful. I love the different foils on different papers and playing with the looks that I can get by switching those around. So die cut all of those out, and then I will have all the pieces that I need for my medium-sized blue flower, just like that. We'll set those aside and I'll show you putting them together in just a minute, but I'm also going to make a purple flower because if you saw my card at the intro to this video, you know that I'm going to make kind of a rainbow effect. Now, if you've never hot foiled before, you want to make sure that the hot foil plate is face up. You want to put your foil pretty side down, and then your cardstock and your two plates, you leave the timer on till it goes off, and then you run it through your die machine, and that's that easy. I have tons of videos about Glimmer hot foil, so if you want to find out more, I will have a playlist of those videos at the end of this video. You can click and check that out. So now I'm just die cutting all of those pieces while I'm heating up some more leaves over on the side there. Now I'm going to use some aura foil to hot foil some leaves. So I'm going to have leaves that are two different shades of cardstock, and I'm going to be using different foils on them as well. Now here I got some excess foil. It over foiled is what I'm trying to say. So I'm using a sand eraser to just remove that, and I'm die cutting this out anyway, so it wouldn't really matter if it was there. Next, I am bringing in what was my favorite Glimmer hot foil plate, the scattered dots. I'm going to be foiling that with my current favorite foil, which is called Opal. You can see that it's see-through, and so you want to really be careful that you're going to use the right side of the foil, the outside. So I don't cut that until I am ready to immediately put it down on my plate, otherwise I get it mixed up. And here you can see the opal foil on green cardstock. It's see-through, so it picks up the color behind it and leaves behind an opal finish. So I'm Glimmer hot foiling the top part of this cardstock to create a slimline card. And here you'll see what it looks like tone on tone. It just is subtle, but has that shine. I am in love with this look. So now I'm going to do the bottom half of this panel, which measures 8 3/4 by 3 3/4. So I just marked where I needed to foil so that I didn't duplicate or foil over what I already foiled. I set that aside, and I'm using a sentiment that says a really big thank you. And I'm going to use that opal foil again. I wasn't sure how this was going to work out, but I really wanted to foil this on black cardstock. So let's see how it looks. It's amazing. Now here I have excess foil. Just my plate is really hot, so more of that foil transferred, but it didn't actually stick to the paper, and I can easily brush it away. Now I'm using a die from that same sentiment set. I think it's More Sentiment. I'm going to link it for you below because I forgot the name. But look at the tiny scallop edge on that. It's so dainty and cute. All right, let's go ahead and assemble our flowers. You can see on this flower, there's one point that dents in. There's also that same look on the flower that is hot foiled. So those are the points that is my reference and is going to help me line this up. Now, if you don't want to worry about lining it up, you can still get a really great look if you don't line it up. That's okay. All right, so now I'm going to pop up the center of my flower. Just like that. Isn't it gorgeous? Now let's look at the medium flower. This one is super easy to line up. It whether you're die cutting it or putting on this detail layer, it's really obvious. So you just put the opening of that layered piece over the opening in the flower. And now for the small center, this is the half piece. We're going to use half of a foam square to stick that on. And I thought, oh, maybe I could stick it down here. No, that looked weird. So it really goes up there, and that is the medium flower. And now I'm just going to go through this really fast and put all the other ones together in the same fashion as I did with the first two. So I'm going to have 3 large flowers and 2 of the medium flowers for this card, and a bunch of the little flowers. I die cut them with colored foil, and I die cut them with aura foil. The aura foil is like my favorite. It's a goldish foil with an iridescent shine to it. So not just a metallic shine, but iridescent. So you get the look of rainbow when you tilt it in the light. It's amazing. It was my favorite foil, and then came the opal foil. And I did love that scattered dot hot foil plate, and then came this botanical flowers. I loved them equally, so I decided it would be fun to pair up my 2 favorite foils and my 2 favorite Glimmer hot foil plates for this card. So then you saw me there kind of arranging how I wanted everything to go. I just left that in there really fast so you could kind of see my process. But now I'm going to stick everything down. I'm going between using foam squares for the large flowers and gluing other things down. And I will just kind of play with the arrangement as I go, moving from things at the top to things at the bottom. I'm adding in that sentiment, which turned out amazing. And I really had so much fun with this. I'm much more of a kind of cutesy card maker, and I don't play with flowers as much, but oh my gosh, this set I am in love with. I had so much fun making this card and using the bright colors because I love bright colors, and I think that it really turned out fabulous, and I hope that you love it too. I hope you do. All right, so just gluing in some leaves. I made a couple green flowers because I thought they could kind of look like clover. I don't know. I just needed a little bit more green right there to complete the look of rainbow. So I threw a couple of those in there. And then the purple really pops. It really pops. So if you're only going to get one, do the purple. I don't know. They're all so good. They're all so good. But I thought the purple was so stunning. All right, so I just trimmed off the edge of that sentiment, and then I'm going to add in some rainbow drops. Speaking of things that are my favorite, these rainbow drops are my favorite embellishment. They have so many pieces in them. It's like over 700. You have 3 different sizes. You have all the colors in the rainbow. They're slightly translucent. So if you put them on a colored background, even if you use a red piece and you stick it on a pink background, it's going to pick up the paper behind it and it's going to transform to that particular color. They're amazing. I love them. So I'm mounting this onto a slimline card that is 9 inches by 8 inches and is scored at 4 inches. And that finishes up the front of today's card. I'm going to add my extra leaves on the inside, just like they're kind of falling from the sky. And I think just having a little touch of something on the inside makes all the difference. So there you have the leaves there in the 3 different foils. I have aura foil, opal foil, and the green foil. All right, that is it for today's video. I hope that you've enjoyed this card. Make sure you leave your thoughts and comments below because I love chatting with you. And if you like this card, make sure you tune back in tomorrow for another layered Glimmer hot foil set and another, I would say, cute card. And I will see you all then. I so enjoy spending this time with you. I hope that you do too. And happy stamping. Bye.